concept of Bhairava is very, very intricate. I'll explain to my level of understanding. So Bhairava is none other than Shiva.
Is he a terrifying form?
So when we say terrifying, we have to understand what do you mean by terrifying, right? Among sadhakas, people who practice spiritual practice, mantra sadhana, initiated sadhanas and things like that, we have three main forms of Bhairava. When we say terrifying, most people talk about Kala Bhairava, who is the Kshetrapala of Kashi. He is also there in Ujjain. Kala Bhairava is known because when Lord Brahma was egotistical and saying he is the Lord of the entire universe, from Shiva's fury, a light emanated and out came Bhairava, who pinched out one of the heads of Brahma. Brahmahati dosha. If you destroy, if you kill a Brahmana and things like that, you have this particular dosha. So that head of Brahma, the fifth head of Brahma, got stuck in Kala Bhairava's hand.
Oh.
And then he walks for 12 years everywhere until he reaches Kashi, and that fifth head drops. The place that the fifth head drops is Kapala Mokshana Teerth in Kashi.
Oh.
And then Kala Bhairava becomes the Kotwal of Kashi. Right? So we see Kala Bhairava in that form. There is just one form of Bhairava. Second form of Bhairava is Batuk Bhairava, the boy form of Bhairava. So he's very famous in the north, in Delhi, in Bengal. Even among the Kashmiri Pandits, they would do a particular puja for him every single year. Batuk Bhairava worship was very, very prevalent. So Batuk Bhairava is the boy form of Bhairava. His story is there was a demon called Apat, who would give a lot of problems to sadhakas when they are doing their sadhana. So out of the Mahavidyas, the great Devis, a boy comes. And this boy, who is non-different from Shiva, would destroy these asuras. And Batuk Bhairava, being a child form, is easier to please. Kala Bhairava is a bit harder to please. Batuk Bhairava is easier to please because he's a boy. Just like how people can worship Lord Krishna, or they can worship the Laddu Gopal. So we have Batuk Bhairava, and since he's a child, it's easier to please him. And he has three forms also. You have his Satvika form, where he's Shuddha Spatika. He's the color of the Shuddha Spatika. White.
Crystal clear.
Yes, crystal clear. So you worship him for spiritual enlightenment. And then you have the second form, which is copper red. You worship him for material benefits. And then you have the third form that he takes, where he is the form of the dark clouds before rain. That form you pray to that form for issues with your enemies and prayogas and these things. So Batuga has three forms. Then you have the third form of Bhairava, who is more prevalent in the south among Shakta upasakas or Devi sadhakas, those who worship Lalita Mahatripura Sundari,
Sri
Chakra worship. They have a form called Swarna Akarshana Bhairava. So he has Bhairavi on his lap. His Shakti is Bhairavi. He holds a kumbha and a trishul. So this form of Bhairava came about when Mahalakshmi gets cursed by Durvasa, and she loses her luster and her wealth and everything, and she does tapas to Bhairava, and he comes in this form to give back whatever the Sri Tattva is. So this form of Bhairava protects you and keeps you from losing your wealth, and also having the ability to keep your wealth. Getting wealth is one thing, ability to retain it is another thing. Kala Bhairava is worshipped simply by laymen in Tamil temples. You will see him as the Kshetrapala of Shiva temples, right at the entrance inside. People worship him to get rid of Shani's Parva, Shani Dosh,
Sade Sati.
Sarasati. They will worship him there. Lay worship is different. And in the north side where they worship Batuk Bhairava, they will offer mustard oil as diyas, and they'll burn these diyas on Ashtami Tiris.